Story 1. This is my second marriage. My first marriage lasted 11 years, and after it I swore I would never marry again. 2 years after our breakup, I met a woman I fell in love with, and 2 years later we married. We have been together for 25 years. This past spring we renewed our vows in Yosemite. Since we live nearby, the chapel holds the ceremony every year. We have 3 wonderful children and a strong marriage. I do not regret either marriage. I am friends with my ex, who has been remarried for 15 years. We still talk on the phone at least once a year, and she laughs about things we remember. Her mother still calls me on holidays and for my birthday. Story 2. We have been married 27 years and together for 30. Staying in love that long is a choice both partners make on a daily basis. Looking back, I am very happy that we both continue to make that choice. Looking forward, I cannot fathom a life without her. Story 3, of course. I was sure when I proposed at age 19, and I am just as sure now in our 50s. My marriage is the best thing in my life. Story 4. Nope. She hid her borderline personality disorder from me. After we married and had a few children, the mask slipped, revealing who she really was. The mask was for me only. After the divorce, I found out that as soon as I left for work she was volatile and abusive to the children and told them not to tell, so my happy memories of us together were lies. She died last year after years of mixing benzodiazepines and alcohol. One child was sad for a while. The other did not care at all. Story 5. Absolutely. I am in love and have a great marriage. Story 6. Very much so. My best friend, hands down. The only catch, if I am going to be frank, is menopause. It is almost like trying to fall in love with a new person, and in my case you cannot be intimate with them. If we can make it through this phase, since divorce rates are high during this time, they say we will be even better on the other side. Not sure, to be honest. Sometimes we do. Story 7. I thought I wanted that until her behavior changed. We had discussed having children. I said I did not know if I would want children until I was at least 30 years old or financially stable. I grew up poor and was living month to month. I did not want that for my children. She said she understood. On our honeymoon she pressured me about having children, lashed out, and ruined the trip. 1 year later she told me that she wanted to be pregnant by May or the relationship would not work. I pulled back, lost all interest, and within 6 months I ended the relationship because I could not accept that ultimatum. So no, I am not happy I got married. I am divorced. I married at 24, separated at 26, and divorced at 27. I am now 30 years old and still do not feel prepared to bring a child into the world. I am just glad I did not allow my boundaries to be violated. Story 8. No. It was amazing until it was not. Now I am divorced, and I have lost half my savings and half my time with the children. Even when it is amicable and not contentious, it is still extraordinarily traumatic. Choose wisely. Story 9. A good marriage to me is joining forces with someone to make life easier and reach your goals faster, like playing life in 2-player mode. If your teammate is trolling or heading in a different direction, you lose the benefits of cooperative play, and it can even make things harder. But if your teammate genuinely works with you, life becomes much easier and you achieve your goals more quickly. Not to mention, your teammate can be very attractive. Story 10. I am currently sitting in an urgent care room with my wife, who is 27, and watching her receive intravenous lines. Seeing her health slowly deteriorate over the last year has put my marriage in a new light. I haven't been married very long. We have been married 3 years, but we were together throughout high school and college. She is by far my best friend. During the healthy periods, she was full of energy, life, and excitement to go out and do things. She helped me learn to love new things I would not have normally tried. I even wrote in my vows that she makes me want to put in the effort to be a better person every day, which is still true. This period has made me realize that marriage is not just a partnership between friends but a partnership against everything life throws at you. It is hard to look a problem in the face and acknowledge something that is clearly visible every day, like a sickness in your partner. But the best days are those when it is not so bad and her genuine smile and laugh shine through her pain. In short, marriage can be the best and worst thing. It can give you so much to love, look forward to, and hope for, and at the same time it can be taken away even if you do everything right. As I said in my vows, I will be a husband who puts in the effort every day, even on the hardest days. Story 11. I wish I had gotten married sooner. It took 4 years before I proposed. Our sex life improved significantly after marriage. She forced me to see doctors to receive medication. She pushed me to buy our first house. I have doubled my net worth thanks to her. My family loves her, and I get along well with her family. Story 12. No, and never will again. For 20 years I thought she was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, but she turned out to be the worst thing that ever happened to me. I wish she had murdered me slowly, with a small, dull, rusty hatchet. That would have been far less painful. Bait and switch. Story 13. Depends on the day. Things changed when we had our second child, which made things much more difficult. I adjusted and got better while she is stressed and overwhelmed all the time. It's like every day is the first day on the job for her. And when the woman is miserable, everyone is miserable. Edit. It's insane the number of comments I've received from women reacting to this post in a thread that's literally asking men for their input. According to these women, they have deduced, based on these 5 sentences alone, that I 1. Do not participate in any chores besides loading the dishwasher. 2. Do not take care of my kids because I am a kid, and 3. Am somehow forcing all the mental load of having a family onto her, even though I experience everything she experiences, so I am causing the stress, and it definitely isn't attributed to hormones, anxiety, or mental illness, realistic, reasonable stuff. You women are so astute. Wild. Story 14. One of the greatest decisions of my life. It can be tough sometimes, but it is worth it. She is my best friend. There is no one in this world I trust as much as my wife. I love that woman. Story 15. No. My wife has depression and anxiety, and it has ruined most of the positive moments that should come with marriage. It has been this way since our wedding day. The engagement period was difficult, the wedding day was awful, there was no honeymoon, and no postmarital bliss or newlyweds time. We are about 7 years past our wedding day, and most basic intimacy needs are not met for me. Simple romance, like dates or cuddling, is difficult because she is busy worrying about things that are not that important. I know I mean everything to her and regularly hear phrases like, "You mean the world to me, you're my best friend, and I'd die without you." I cannot bring myself to say them back, since none of them really resonate due to my unmet needs and the constant rejection I feel. She feels that my asking her to meet my needs requires energy she does not have and creates an obligation. She says she will feel resentment toward me if I make her feel obligated to do anything with me. I understand that. I do not want her to do things out of obligation. I want her to choose me. I thought that was why we got married. I need to be wanted. There is no awareness that the endless rejection is building resentment in me. I see other happy couples in our neighborhood coming back from a night out, and I feel jealous. I think I am reaching my breaking point because my empathy for her depression is exhausted. It is an odd experience to be married and think, I would love to take a woman out on a nice date this weekend. I wish that woman were my wife, but there is a 98% chance she will let me down and I will feel bad because my own wife rejected me. Note: I do all the cooking and errands, handle the bills, and do more than 50% of the cleaning. We do not have children. This is due to depression, and she is taking multiple prescribed medications. Story 16. For a good time, sort by controversial. The trick to life as a man is to build your kingdom first, then spend the rest of your life protecting it from being taken away by a woman. Why sign up for a life in which one spends a lot of time doing things one does not want to do? What I value in a romantic relationship are the things I can get from a series of overlapping, transient interactions. Glorious. Story 17. Absolutely. My wife and I have a great life and a great home. I am still head over heels in love with her. She is my best friend. Our sex life is great, we travel, we communicate well, and we work well together as a team. Story 18. Not at all. I got married way too young, at 19, and we both grew up in very conservative households, so divorce is basically an eternal sin. No matter how unhappy either or both parties are, The marriage must hold together. The worst part is that both of us are good people. How? Is that bad? Because in our culture, divorce is only allowed if there is a very clear villain in the relationship. With both of us being moral but unhappy people, any reason we might give for splitting up is automatically considered not that bad and something you could go to counseling for. Story 19. I am 57 and have been happily married for 23 years. I would marry her again without hesitation. Like many couples, the romance and intense sexual attraction have faded over time. For some people that can be a deal breaker, but we have accepted it and become affectionate, kind, supportive partners who still enjoy each other's company. For example, we always have a wonderful time running errands or traveling together. We also have a comfortable life with 2 grown children who still seem to like us. More than 2 decades ago, I married not just a brilliant, compassionate person but an entirely new life of love. Story 20. No. I have been married for over 24 years. It has not always been bad, but there has been more bad than good. We bring out the worst in each other. She is not my best friend. She is more like a tolerable roommate I cannot afford to leave. I am fairly certain I would have been better off without her, whether I had married someone else or stayed single. I believe I would be happier if she were not in my life. Story 21. Heck yeah. I have realized that I am a person who really craves the companionship of a woman. When it is absent from my life, I feel incomplete. I love being married. Like everything else in life, there are pros and cons, but for me the pros heavily outweigh the cons, and I feel incredibly lucky that my wife has shown herself to be the incredibly awesome person I believed her to be when I decided to propose. Story 22. I was married for 6 years. We had been together for 14. I should not have done it. We were too immature and needed therapy to recognize that we were not right for each other, and it ended up hurting me more than anything else I have ever experienced. Story 23. Both yes and no. We have been together 23 years, next month. Many positives have come from our marriage. We have 3 amazing children. We have pushed and supported each other throughout our careers, and both of us have fulfilling work. We enjoy trying new foods and traveling, so we usually have great vacations. We have had some of the best times of our lives together. Unfortunately, we have also experienced some of the lowest lows. A miscarriage and mutual infidelity were major shocks to our union and almost ended it. We grew up in very different backgrounds, which led to fundamentally different worldviews and clashes about the children, money, and other issues. Sex is a significant problem because she has never been very interested, and it is even less now that she is in menopause. That said, it is difficult to imagine being with anyone else. Despite the frustrating aspects of our marriage, there is no one else I would rather talk to or spend time with. I wish she wanted to have sex more often, and I wish we could communicate better, but she is my person and I am hers. I would rather have that than nothing. Story 24. We had a great relationship, but when she had modest but significant success in her career, she became arrogant, started seeing other people, and eventually fell for one of them. When things were good between us, I dismissed her narcissistic tendencies as my not being used to a partner with healthy self-esteem. I learned my lesson. Story 25. Yes. My wife is lovely. We get along well, and my life is better overall. One downside is that we do not have enough sexual intimacy. Story 26. Honestly, no. She is my partner and we get along mostly okay, but it is a chore most days. 10 years in, sex is basically gone. It was never as good as I wanted, and now it happens about twice every 3 months if I am lucky. It is always out of a sense of duty. She grins and bears it. I suspect next year it will be down to once a year at most. She has no interest in satisfying my needs, sexually or otherwise. We have not slept together on a normal night, that is, when we are not traveling and needing to share a bed, in 3 years. She says it is my fault. Every time I try to get into bed with her, she complains that she is warm, that it is not comfortable, or that she feels crowded. Even on the rare occasions we have sex, she does not want to share the bed. Her love language is buying things. I do not like things and I do not want to spend the money. She is afraid of burglary, so if I am not home at night, she does not sleep. That limits my outdoor pursuits, such as hunting and fishing, to being home by dark. My career has been and continues to be seriously damaged by my inability to travel. We have a 7-year-old, and it is important to me that he be raised in a two-parent household. Since my wife and I get along fine and I know she loves our son as best she can, I can put my sexual and experiential needs on hold for the next 10 or so years. Story 27. I am not married and will not be. I absolutely love my freedom. Story 28. Absolutely. It was the best decision my wife has ever agreed to. We have been together for more than 20 years, married for 14 of those years. She is an amazing wife, mother, and friend. I would never do it again, though. No one could hold a candle to the light she brings to my life. Story 29. Married for 4 years, together for 9 years, expecting twins. Could not be happier. Story 30. I'm happily divorced. I don't regret getting married, but it was pointless and marked the beginning of the end of my relationship. Everything got worse from that day. I will never marry again. The time, love, support, money, and energy I invested in women have produced diminishing returns rather than the opposite. Story 31. A clear no from me. We were incompatible. We toughed it out for too long and eventually divorced. I realize now that even with the perfect partner, I do not think I am willing to make the sacrifices necessary for a healthy long-term relationship. Why sign up for a life in which one spends a lot of time doing things one does not want to do? What I value in a romantic relationship I can get from a series of overlapping, transient interactions. Story 32. Getting married was the worst decision of my life. If I could go back in time, despite winning and keeping everything, I'd never do it. It's just not worth the risk, even with a prenuptial agreement. What can a random person do to make my life better? Story 33. Yeah, she's the better part of me. Please don't ask her that question, though. It might prompt her to think. Story 34. Generally speaking, absolutely. Marriage is tough. For people who have never done it, it is nothing like any previous relationship. You are in it all the time, mud, warts, farts, everything. Some days we get on each other's nerves. Other days we are lovey-dovey. Comes in waves, changing with the seasons, hormones, and life. Either way, you are in it. It is beautiful when you can step back and look at the life you've built with another person. Those moments my wife and I really relish. We went to the Renaissance Fair this past weekend. It was my wife's first time going after years of not wanting to go with our friends, and she adored it. Turns out it's totally her scene and she was just anxious. It's beautiful to see someone you think you know intimately find a new way to open up and explore life. She's already looking at outfits for next year. When my dad was alive, I once asked him why my parents never divorced. I remember him saying, "I don't always like your mother, but I always love her. If that's not marriage sometimes, I don't know what is." Story 35. I married someone from a different country. We fell in love quickly. It was very intense at the beginning. I wanted this to work, so I gave up everything. It was exciting and I was happy to do it. We traveled the world and lived in different countries together. Then I began experiencing emotional abuse from her. She gradually revealed that she has obsessive-compulsive disorder and perfectionism. She has serious control issues and wants everything done by herself, which makes my 80-20 way of getting things done seem lazy or inept. The cultural differences have become increasingly challenging. Simple things that people from my country know, she has no clue about, and she has no interest or patience in learning them. She is often confidently incorrect about many things, which makes it hard to remain patient. I spend a lot of time reading and learning. She spends a lot of time doom-scrolling. The knowledge gaps are widening. Our values and approaches are opposite. For example, when I say we can afford to have 2 cars and I am tired of doing both our commutes every day, she responds that we save a certain amount per month and she does not want to work her entire life. It is extremely challenging to stay together. We have good days, but most days we clash. The idea of separating feels like an impossible, monumental task because of everything we had to do to live in the same country. If I could go back more than 12 years, I would tell myself to wait to get married. You do not have to marry right away. Do all the fun things and see what she reveals about herself. Then decide to marry only when you are 100% sure you can handle finances, life, culture, politics, work challenges, and so on together. Story 36. I would not have done it if I did not want to. I am happy I got married because I chose someone I enjoy spending time with, even when we are doing nothing. I think men who complain about marriage or make mocking wife bad, marriage bad, or marriage equals no sex jokes sound like fucking losers. You will find them in most AskReddit posts that ask about sex lives, married life, and relationships in general. Someone will comment, "Wait, married men are having sex?" And it becomes a chain of men complaining about their wives. Story 37. Why do these replies give me hope and crush my soul at the same time? Story 38. To be honest, I wish I could say the same. We have been in love since 2006, married in 2020, and we now have a 2-year-old daughter. On paper, it should have been perfect, but somewhere along the way things fell apart. It felt like life kept throwing difficulties at us. Arguments, pressure, and silence, and I kept pretending everything was fine, but deep down it is not. I regret getting married, not because she is a bad person, but because I feel I lost myself in the process. There is someone else in my life now, which makes everything messy. I cannot even think about divorce without fearing she would take my daughter away from me. So I stay, not out of love but out of fear of losing the only innocent thing left, my little girl. Story 39. Very happy. The biggest worry men have is the possibility of losing half of my stuff via divorce. My wife made many sacrifices in her career to have and raise our kids when they were young. I would not want to marry anyone foolish enough to do that without the financial protection a marriage contract provides. Story 40. I was happy when I first got married. Turned out to be unhappy. I thought she was my best friend, but that was my mistake. Story 41. It's been 28 years of marriage, and that is so hard to answer. It depends on the day or week. We get through things and support each other, but now that the kids are grown up, we no longer have that unifier. Also, don't get me started on the good Lord's joke about menopause. I must not have read the fine print. While I wouldn't trade the marriage, I certainly would not marry again if one of us passed away. I also recommend having more in common. Sadly, we have little to none. Story 42. Married for 17 years. I was happy the first 8 years. The last 9 have been difficult. Story 43. It was such a bad mistake, and I knew it as I walked down the aisle. I had betrayed myself. Story 44. Yes, I married my best friend. Being in love takes work. But even in times when we are lazy and not working hard on the being in love part, we always have a solid foundation of enjoying each other's company and a deep respect for one another. Story 45. Married for 15 years. I love my wife. She and our 2 beautiful daughters give me a reason to wake up each morning. I have major depressive disorder and severe anxiety. Each day is a struggle, but knowing they are counting on me gives me a reason to live. Story 46. Marriage is the only thing we celebrate before the hard work gets put in. And the result of a successful marriage is that one person is alone. But getting married was one of the best decisions I have made because I picked the right woman. Is she perfect? No. Am I? Absolutely not. Am I happy? More than I deserve to be, and she is too. We have a great life together. The only regret is that one of us will have to say goodbye someday. Story 47. Best thing that ever happened to me. I have been married for 22 years. 2 are stronger than 1. My wife compliments me, and I am a much better man than I would ever have been on my own. She fills my gaps and gives me perspective and reasoning when I make decisions. She respects my choices and allows me to lead our family. Everything I do, I want it to make her happy because I love her, and she does the same for me. This is the way. Story 48. Absolutely. My wife is amazing. Even though life is not always easy and we have our issues. Comparing life before her and after her is like night and day. Story 49. Yes, my wife is my rock. I could not imagine going through life without her. Story 50. Yes, because my wife is beautiful, an amazing mother, and my best friend. Story 51. I was sure this woman would be mine and I would be hers for the rest of our lives. so I put a ring on it. I cannot stop loving her. It is maddening. Laughing out loud. If my world is crumbling beneath my feet or I am going through rough waters, her holding my hand or gently scratching the back of my head lifts me and restores my strength. She is my power. Story 52. I have been married for 14 years. I love my wife and think about her all day. At work, I count the hours until I can come home and see her again. Story 53. I have been married 2.5 years and am as happy as I have ever been. She is the best person I have ever met in every way. Story 54. We have been married for 10 years and together for 14. I could not be happier. This morning I arranged coffee beans into a heart shape in front of the coffee cup belonging to my wife before I left for work. Story 55. Hell yes. I like it so much that I have done it twice and am considering doing it a third time. Story 56. Today is our 4-month anniversary. So far, so good. Someone said, "You do not choose your partner once. You choose your partner every day," and that speaks to me. We have been together 5 years, almost 4 years dating, and engaged for 4 months. She and I are open about the fact that feelings change, and communication is the most important thing. Be open and honest with each other. If we fall out of love, so be it, but I keep loving her more every day. Story 57. I am very happy. He is my best friend. I want to be with him every second. We do everything together, and it never gets old. He makes me laugh until my stomach hurts. Feels like he was put on earth just for me. Story 58. Yes, we are each other's best friend and have been for 20 years. I wouldn't go back and change anything. Story 59. Very much so. I think the world of my wife. It's hard to imagine life without her. Story 60. I miss being alone and doing what I want after work or on weekends, until I go to bed. It has been more than 20 years since I had an entire day, from morning until bedtime, to myself. I also miss not having to worry about the health of my wife and children. Story 61. Together for 8, we are just about to have our 2nd anniversary. I could not imagine my life without her. She really is my other half. Story 62. We have been together for 14 years and married for 2. My wife is an absolute rock. She is a fantastic mother and partner. Story 63. I am super happy. My wife is great, and there is no one I would rather do life with. Life is still hard, but we are better together. Story 64. Very much so. We have been married 8 years and together for 10. My wife is my best friend and has been since the day I met her. I can't imagine a future without her by my side. Story 65. We will be celebrating 11 years of marriage in January. There is nobody else I would want to spend my life with. We make each other laugh. That is priceless. I would not be where I am without her by my side. Story 66. I have been married for 12 years and we have been together for 16. I do not want to imagine a life without her. Marrying my wife was the best decision I have ever made. Story 67. Of all the problems going on, my marriage is not one, and I am very grateful for that. Story 68. Yes. I was married 35 years and together 40 when she passed. We truly had a wonderful relationship. She likely saved my life. Had I stayed on the path when I was single, it would have ended badly. Story 69. Absolutely. I learned from my mistake, met my person, and it is wonderful. Story 70. Yes. I could not imagine life without her. That is why I put a ring on it. Story 71. 18 years. She is my best friend. I have always been the sort of person who prioritizes a few deep friendships over many with less depth. Marriage is the epitome of that. Beyond selfish reasons, she is gorgeous, and being married makes me a better person. It is a daily choice to self-reflect on my frustrations and outbursts, examine my motivations, and put her and my family above myself. I do it to be worthy of them, and I like who I am when I do. I will be honest. Sometimes there are spells when I prioritize myself with more time for video games and personal hobbies. I am usually less happy and more depressed during those times. Serving my family is life-giving. Story 72. We have been together for 25 years and married for 19. Our anniversary is in March. We have an awesome son who will turn 15 this year. I do not know how I would get through life without her. She just spent the weekend in California visiting her brother. Our son and I managed. Story 73. I have been married for 16 years and have 2 children, ages 13 and 11. While normal problems arise in life, we have always been able to face them together. My life has been better in every way I can measure since I got married. Story 74. I met my best friend. I now experience life with the person who understands me deeply and is truly my partner in good times and bad. I do not regret it for a second. Story 75. I get to spend the rest of my life with my favorite person. Story 76. Yes, very much. I am 36 years old, and my wife is 35 years old. We have been together for 19 years and married for 14. I get to spend every day with my best friend. We do what we want when we want, and I would not have it any other way. Story 77. We have been together 24 years. We got married because we were tired of people asking when we were going to get married. When we explain the discrepancy, they ask what took us so long. It did not change much, but the ring made her very happy. I am still happy to be with her. Story 78. Being married does not change much for me. I was already mentally committed. However, I am glad we had a nice day and did not spend much on it. My wife looked beautiful. We have been happily married for a year and a bit and have been together for 9 years. I married my best friend and teammate. Story 79. I married my wife 6 years ago after we had been together for 2.5 years. We became engaged after 8 months. It was the best decision I have ever made. My wife is my rock. I have endured severe mental health struggles with anxiety, depression, and obsessive-compulsive disorder since the pandemic. It would have been easy for her to give up on me, but she has supported me and loves me unconditionally. We lift each other up. Story 80. Absolutely. We make each other feel loved every day. If we do not, or if there is an issue, we communicate it and it is usually fixed immediately. Story 81. I got married last year to someone who is now my best friend. I could not imagine being without my wife. Although we do not share the same hobbies or always see eye to eye, we communicate as best we can and resolve our differences like adults. Story 82. Of course, I get to spend every day with my best friend, and I always have someone to lean on for support. What's not to be happy about? Story 83. I have been married for 11 years and have been with my partner longer. I am happy to be with them. It is not about the marriage itself. I am lucky to have someone I can trust with everything. Story 84. Yes, most of the time. I have mood swings due to medication, so I sometimes become irritable and wonder whether I am unhappy. At the end of the day, she is my biggest cheerleader, and there is no one I feel more comfortable talking to. She is there through my lowest lows and my highest highs. She is not my best friend in the classic sense because we have different hobbies, but there is no one I would rather relax with to watch a movie or go for a walk. Story 85. I have been married for 13 years. I am happy because it made my wife happy. We had been together 10 years by the time we married. It was also a fantastic party. Being married itself does not make a huge difference to me. It is nice. I am pretty confident we will stay together for decades to come, but I think we would have done so regardless. Story 86. I have been divorced for 7 years now, and I am happy I got married. I just wish the marriage had lasted. I do not see myself doing it again, though. Story 87. Married for 34 years and together for 36. We are very happy. We have been a good team raising our children, maintain a strong relationship with them, and I look forward to spending retirement with my wife. Story 88. I am married, though I have only been married for a couple of months. Nothing has changed for us since getting married, which I believe is how it should be. As others have said, it is a choice both people must make and continue to make. But knowing that I have someone who knows me inside and out, who is always rooting for me and who will do anything to help me is about the best thing in the world. Story 89. I love my wife and enjoy watching her grow as a person. Story 90. Marriage, like many things in life, is a roller coaster. The euphoria of the honeymoon phase eventually fades into a slow-burning love. It requires constant work and understanding from both partners. When you find a person you can truly let your guard down around, someone who has seen you at some of your worst points and decided they love you regardless, it is a love you cannot experience anywhere else. Story 91. Although I am progressive in relationships, I realize I am a bit stuck in the mud. When I got married, I took the vows very seriously. No one in my family ever divorced. I knew my marriage was bad. I would do things like lie about working late so I could spend 45 minutes playing Hearthstone in my car before I had to go home. Avoiding your own house is not a good sign. I fought like hell for that relationship, to the point that I was the only one fighting for it. I thought enough effort, love, and trying so hard could fix things. Cannot. Getting married can be like having a baby to fix a relationship. It is rarely going to improve things. If you and your partner are doing well, why risk that? Why add pressure, scrutiny, or other stress to your private bliss? I had another relationship after that one, and I learned the real issue. It was me. My love language is giving, small presents, acts of service, and so on. There is a breed of people who seek those who give and only desire to take. It is not a matter of men or women. They are predators stalking rich prey. I will never marry again. It has legal consequences here and very few benefits. If I love someone enough to stay together without guardrails, I will just continue to do so. Of course, I will make sure my partner knows this too. Story 92. Yes, my wife is amazing. She is my best friend. It is us against the world. Story 93. Very much so. We love each other, and the other spouse knows it without saying so. Also, kids are the greatest. Story 94. I have been married for 18 years, and while it has had its ups and downs, I am a better person for it. My wife is a strong, independent woman who also enjoys being a wife and all that comes with it. I have someone in my bed every night whom I trust. A financial partner and co-parent who offsets my reckless abandon with conservative optimism. She also cooks like no one's business. Story 95. It is 20 years this year. I would be aimless and likely insane without her and my children. Story 96. Sort of. I am going through a separation that is leading to divorce after 12 years of marriage and a longer time together. She told me she is just not in love with me anymore and gave typical perimenopause explanations about finding herself again. We have 2 children. There is at minimum an emotional affair. The separation came before any physical involvement, as far as I can tell. In retrospect, we had some honest talks and I realized many things in our relationship were broken. We both sacrificed ourselves for the kids. That is expected, and I see it as less of an issue personally than she does. I had moments of unhappiness, but overall I was happy with our life. I knew we needed to work on things and I wanted to. I did not want the marriage to end, and I believed in trying to make it work. I do not think we had a clear vision of what was broken until now. We admit we both made personal mistakes and ignored issues over time. I told her I do not want us to end, but I also do not want to go back to what we had. So far that has not mattered, and this will likely end in divorce. This shatters me and terrifies me as someone who gave up a large part of himself and his life for the family, which is now being torn in half. That said, I do not regret those years. I loved and still love her. I enjoyed the family we built and the time we had together, even if it was limited because we prioritized other things. I love our kids. It infuriates me that I will not be able to see them the way I do now and that they will have to go through this. I nearly break down when I go to bed. The idea that I can no longer put my arm around her when we sleep is heartbreaking. I cherish the years we had. Part of me feels I wasted a large portion of my life building something only to feel betrayed. But when I look at my kids, the fond memories, and what I learned about myself, I do not regret it. I have no desire to start looking for someone new, and I wish I could say the same for her. I once imagined we would grow old together and joked about being that couple at the diner. She very quickly changed her mind when someone else came along. It infuriates me that she acts like we will always be close and wants the emotional benefits of our relationship without the investment. Yet I cannot hate what we had. I hate that it is ending, but I do not hate that it existed. I do not have a positive feeling about marriage right now. I am very bitter and would not recommend it to people at the moment. I know there is no such thing as perfect and I needed to improve too, but I still feel I was a good husband, an amazing father, and I worked very hard. For my family, seeing my soon-to-be ex not recognized, that is probably the most painful thing, especially because I still consider her to have been a great wife. To top it off, I live in a state where none of that will be recognized legally when the time comes. That is painful. I am not sure whether I am happy I got married. Yes, but with reservations. I used to look at couples married 30 or 40 years and think we had it no problem. I would never have expected to be sidelined and surprised like this. In retrospect, the signs were there, but I cannot help feeling that modern society and social media played a role. I feel betrayed because we reached the part of through better or worse, and I feel I did my half of that and it was not reciprocated. Story 97. Best decision I ever made. It is really quite simple. My wife is my best friend and she makes me happy. Story 98. We have been together 3.5 years, but I have known her for about 9 years. It was the best decision I ever made. We have a beautiful 5-year-old. My wife impresses me every day and encourages me to be affectionate and strong. She does not look down on me when the stresses of life get to me. She is understanding of the struggles of being a provider and strives to help carry this burden. She is my best friend and my greatest treasure. She deserves the world. Story 99. It has been the best part of my life. I would feel empty if I reached this age without experiencing the family I have. Everyone is different, but that is how I feel. I have a friend my age who has been single for about 10 years and is unhappy with the revolving door of women he has dated. Also, many people my age are getting divorced and that seems terrible. I do not want to be constantly meeting new women in hopes that one will be the person I want to spend all of my time with. I am picky. Story 100. I have been married for 15 years, and we have been together for 17. Some days I think I would be better off alone. That is when I am in a bad mood and nitpicking everything my partner does. Then I pause and realize how lost I would be without that person. Thankfully, my wife is fantastic and we mesh well. She has opened my eyes to many things in life. I used to never travel. Now I have visited many amazing places and had rich experiences. There are always bumps along the way, and you will not always see eye to eye about small, petty things. I am so happy I married her. She has made me a better man and continues to do so every day. Story 101. I have been with my wife for 7 years now, and I have never regretted it for a moment. Life feels easy when you live with your best friend, and every game you play and every obstacle you face has a partner to share it with. Story 102. I love my wife more than anything else in the world. She keeps me grounded, showers me with love and affection, and provides an alternative perspective that I cannot provide for myself. Story 103. I saw my father stuck in a toxic marriage because of his beliefs. I would never have imagined he would stay married for even a single month. Story 104. Married 16 years and together for 19. I remember my grandparents married for over 50 years, still holding hands, hugging, and kissing in the morning and at night. I always wanted that. I feel so lucky to have found someone early enough in my life, at age 29, to hopefully be married 50 years myself. Actively loving each other and continuing to make the effort to stay in love is crucial to a happy, long-lasting marriage. There is no one else I would rather share this life with. I feel blessed to have not only an amazing partner, but a best friend I can truly be myself around. I wish this for everyone. Story 105. Yes, it has taught me a lot. I am sure I am a better person because of it. 28 years. Story 106. I have been married just over a year to a woman I have been with for almost 10 years. I am still thrilled to spend time with her every day. Our relationship has not changed, except now we have more legal benefits and can share health insurance and other benefits. I have also found that being married brings more respect from colleagues. Since I am much younger than most of them, people take me more seriously. Story 107. Hey, original poster. 49-year-old married father of 2 in the United Kingdom here. Married in 2013, 12 years and going strong. I am very glad I am married. For me, it is the realization of the seriousness of the commitment. It makes life much more straightforward. I have stood up in front of my wife, family, and friends, and, if you believe in God, made a series of very serious promises that I intend to keep, to be a man of my word. All of this is specific to me. For many people, commitment does not need a piece of paper or words spoken out loud. But it means a lot to me, and I am glad I did it. For better or for worse, there is a cultural aspect too. Marriage is still seen as important for couples committing to each other, and thankfully it is now not limited to heterosexual couples either. Love is love. Legally, it makes things more straightforward in the United Kingdom regarding children and legal matters such as medical consent. Story 108. Yes, my spouse is such a great person, and I love them so much. Story 109. Married more than 40 years and love it. She is by far my best friend, and we enjoy each other's company very much. Best decision ever. Story 110. It's the only genuinely good decision I've ever made. There are a lot of things I regret, but she's by far the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I couldn't even begin to imagine my life without her. Story 111. I am very happy. This woman is my best friend. She is smart, funny, and kind, and she shows me her breasts all the time. My life is infinitely better with her in it. I cannot overstate how lucky I am that she loves me. Story 112. We've been together almost 20 years and married for 16. Life is easier when you admit that nobody is perfect, starting with yourself. We don't always go to bed at the same time or snuggle, and sometimes the only affection either of us gets in a day is a quick kiss goodbye or a welcome home kiss. Home would be very lonely without my wife and kids. Story 113. It's a mixed bag from my perspective. Pros. 1. We have the two best kids anyone could ask for. That alone is worth it. That said, we could have had kids without being married. 2. My wife is an incredible manager of the house. She keeps track of all our schedules and keeps the chaos managed. Football, gymnastics, cheerleading, baseball, art camps, math club, vacations, and so on. My kids wouldn't survive if I were in charge. 3. I love having her family as part of my family. I feel like I inherited extra aunts, uncles, and cousins, and almost all of them are great people I enjoy spending time with. Cons. 1. Our sex life has become significantly less interesting. I know people joke about it, but having one sexual partner is tough for some people. It's not how I am wired, and I didn't really realize it at first. I will never cheat. That is not what I'm saying. 2. I miss the flexibility of being single. It's the flip side of one of the positives. I miss being able to text my friends and ask, who wants to go to a city this weekend for a concert or baseball game? And then just go if someone says yes, or do something local if nobody does. Marriage is fine. I love playing sports with my kids, helping them study, and generally hanging out with them. I know they wouldn't be here if we hadn't gotten married, so I am happy, but be careful and thoughtful about it before you get married. Story 114. I just got married a few weeks ago. We lived together for a couple of years beforehand, and that confirmed we make a great team. Marriage always felt like a huge, crazy commitment to me until I met her. Now it feels like a natural continuation of the life we chose together. We have our ups and downs. The downs are rare. We spend most of our days looking out for each other, laughing, and doing life together. I love it, but I wasn't ready for this in my 20s. Being in my 30s feels a lot different. Story 115. I have been married for 14 years and dated my partner for 6 years before that. We are a great match. It is wonderful to share life, goals, and accomplishments with someone. Life is hard, and support is valuable. Story 116. Yes, I love my wife and do not really want to consider life without her. Story 117. We have been married 5 years and are about to reach 6. We have been together almost 9 years. She is the greatest gift God has ever given me. I have wanted to be married since I was a kid. To be a husband, a provider, a godly example, not perfect but good. And most importantly, to have a woman say I love you and to spoil her as often as I can with affection and genuine acts of care. She She gave me the entire world when she said yes as I knelt with a ring. Now I vow to spend each day earning her. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.